So we've shown you how the Tech for Seniors show is recorded in Zoom. Zoom then takes and renders the file and makes a MP4 file. I then take the MP4 file, download it off the Zoom website, and import it into Camtasia. Camtasia is a video editor, and it's how we correct the mistakes and make everyone look a little bit better. Now we're going to show you how we take the rendered file from Camtasia, which again is an MP4 file, and upload it to YouTube. This then will go into final editing on YouTube and ultimately be published where you can view it. So let's see how we do this. But first I want to talk about YouTube. One of my favorite parts of producing the show Tech for Seniors is the video editing in Camtasia. Video editing is an interesting process, but requires a lot of work. It's like playing the piano. You first start with learning scales, which aren't much fun, and you practice hard, and after a few months then you can play a few tunes, which is sort of fun. And over a period of time, taking lessons and practice, you actually get pretty good at playing the piano and can play some nice tunes. And the same thing happens with video editing. With Camtasia, I started taking lessons about 7 months ago. I take 2 advanced lessons a month, and with practice and editing, you get better. And I'm sure you'll say, okay, Ron, yes, your videos are better now than they were 7 months ago. At least I hope so. If I was certainly playing the piano, I would hope my tunes would be better. Video editing is a lot of fun, and if you have a passion to do that, I would encourage you to start, but I would also encourage you to take some lessons. It's a lot of fun and very rewarding. YouTube was founded by 3 individuals in 2005. Chad Hurley, Stephen Chen, and Jod Karim. The original name was TuneIn or Hookup. And it all started by these 3 trying to find a way to publish a video they took of Janet Jackson's Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. But there was no place that they could put their video online to share it, at least not for free. So they came up with the idea of having a site where you could upload videos and share them for free. Who would know this would make them wealthier than any of us could imagine, as it was bought out by Google about a year later. YouTube has become very successful, and it originally was free without ads. But over the past 5 years, YouTube has become monetized, and you will now find ads on YouTube videos. Everybody knows that Google is the most used search engine in the world today. But the second most used search engine is YouTube. Let me take a look at this for a minute. Suppose you're a novice user of a computer and you want to bake an apple pie and you're looking for a recipe. The novice would simply go to a Google search and type in recipe apple pie. When you do that, you're going to come up with millions of search results. The search results that you get will take you to some very difficult and dangerous sites. And I'd like to ask Bob G. how long it would take before you would get into trouble. I estimate probably under a couple of minutes before you would go to a site, see a great recipe, find out that they're going to give you a free cookbook, and then put personal information in and get scammed out of money. The internet is a very dangerous place. However, YouTube is safe. So if you went and you decided to bake an apple pie and you wanted to look at a recipe, my suggestion is go to YouTube. And when you put a search in, you will have a lot of choices. And in fact, you'll have the videos right there that will show you how to bake an apple pie. and you'll have lots of choices. So YouTube is a very safe place to be. Out in the wild internet, it's not. In this slide, I'm going to show you how to upload your YouTube video that we made. This is an image of my desktop, and we are going to go to the little 9-dot menu here on the right hand side. We're going to click on this, and here you'll see the YouTube icon. From here, we're going to click on this, and this is going to take me to my YouTube site. And you'll see here in the top right hand corner, you'll see a little camera that says create. We're going to create this and click this, and here's where you will upload the video. Click on this, upload, and this will bring you to a file search menu, and you simply drag and drop your file onto here. Here we're going to upload our Tech for Senior MP4 file that we created with our with Camtasia. Here it's sitting on my hard drive, and I'm simply going to drag it over here, drop it on the upload, and it's going to now upload it to YouTube. When you upload your video to YouTube, you'll come to a menu such as you see in front of you. Here is the demo one I just uploaded. YouTube will take probably 3 or 4 minutes to do its processing, and it will processing in the upload process, so you'll have to wait, but this usually is fairly quick. When it's finished processing it, it tells you a number of things. First of all, it's I've set this to a private, so it's not public. Since this is just my demo run with this, I don't want it broadcasted to everybody. There are no restrictions. You see it says here none. There are no restrictions. This means, of course, that restrictions could be related to Ray's music. We've talked about that before, and I'm going to show you how you legally can re-enter that in. And here, of course, the date, the views, and so on and so forth, but it's not published yet. So let's see how we finalize the editing of this now. Okay, we're back at my YouTube channel. Let's look at the video we just uploaded. On here you'll see now a list of my videos that I've recently done. Let's look at the demo one, which I uploaded last week. This is the one that we rendered in Camtasia, edited it out, but I've kept a second copy called demo so we can edit it, and I can show you what I do. So you'll see this again. This is a private. It's privately. It's not published yet. Let's go and have a look at the video. So this is what it looks like when you've uploaded it. This is the title, which of course there is no title yet. We have to add a description, and then we have to choose a thumbnail, which will be the picture on the video. Now it chooses it makes up some thumbnails for you, but I usually choose a thumbnail of one of our staff, and we rotate them around, so we're actually an equal opportunity organization. So everyone gets their picture on the front cover. Let's see how this works. Okay, I've actually gone ahead and filled in all the blanks to save time. You'll see now, if you look at the top, you'll see I've added the episode in. The original episode was 29, so I called this 29A since it's a demo. It's called Tech for Seniors, October 5th, 2020. You'll find all the Tech for Seniors series has the same nomenclature. As we come down in the description, you'll find that I've added our standard intro here. And then I've added what we call a time chapter. And what I do is I play the video on a second monitor and go through and find out where people started and add the time sequence in. So in a time chapter, we start at 00:00 start. And then with the champagne popping, it occurred at 57 seconds. And then Bob's segment started at 6:02. And you'll see that I've gone through and added these. And what this will do in the video, and I'll show you later, is this allows you to, people who go to watch the video now can just click on any one of these links and it will take you right to the spot in the video. And if you want to do this yourself, if you're making a YouTube video, it's very easy. The only thing that you have to remember is you have to start with 00:00 start, and then you can add these as you go through your video. And I think you need a minimum of 3 to start. I also put in the link here. This is what we call the show notes. And in fact, Ray's video, What a Wonderful World, I put the link in here so that you can actually go to the site if you want and look at the video. I put Bob's security update in and any other information. So when you're looking at your the YouTube video on a replay, you should always look carefully in the description because I put a lot of information in there. And this then gets published and it's part of the video that you can watch. So as we come down the list here, there are a few things we fill in. There's some standard things. It's not about kids. I add tags. And if you come over to the right here, you'll see that the video, this is the video link. This is the URL for this unique show. And this can be used in various forms. This is the visibility. As you see, it's still private. I'm not going to publish this yet. And we're going to talk now about playlists. I make a playlist called Tech for Seniors. I have a number of playlists, and I can add a number of different playlists that I can add, but we add Tech for Seniors. And I will show you how that works in a minute. We're also going to add an end screen. Remember the end screen in episode 1 that I showed you I added on the end? Many of you were probably wondering, what the heck is that for? Well, I'm going to show you, and then we're going to add Ray's video back in using this feature called cards. In episode 3 of Tech for Senior, you may remember back, but Phantom of the Opera was being played for free on Friday. I played a short clip, probably 15 seconds, taken off their website, advertising for them, saying, hey, this is great, come and watch the show. That short little clip got me a copyright violation, and that I had to take it out, and it could not publish that video. So why does YouTube have such strict copy protection, and why do we have trouble with music and videos playing them back? First, let me say that anything we do in our Zoom meeting is fine. We can play all the YouTube videos we want, we can play all the music we want. That's not an issue. The issue is when we render it, we put it back into YouTube and then we publish it. Now, we all know that you can't publish someone else's work and take credit for it. But we could certainly give lots of recognition. We could say, we could even get permission from the people who make the videos when we publish them. However, you still will get copyright violation against you with YouTube. And part of the problem, I think, is this. Nobody really knows why this happens, but I think part of the problem is this. And it all boils down to money and finances. And I want you to look here on this screen, and you'll see some of the videos that we have made, and you'll see how many views that you get. And it is the number of views that pays for the royalties and pays for the advertising if you have a monetized site. And if you embed the video into another YouTube video, the person will never get credit for someone watching that. They will when I show you how we put them back in with cards. because you'll go to the site and actually watch it off their site, and they will get a view. In other words, the number of views will go up, which means their ad revenue will pay them more money. And I think that's the reason why YouTube does not want you to play embedded videos in their in another YouTube production. All right, so let's see how we add Ray's video back into our edited version. So as we come here, we'll come down, and we're now in the YouTube studio, and we're going to come down, and you'll see this item here called cards, C-A-R-D-S. What these really are placeholders that you can insert things like videos. So let's watch and see how we do this. So I'm going to click Edit, and this brings up this menu here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a video to this. Okay, so we're going to click on here, and this is where I can choose any of our videos, or I can choose any videos here on YouTube. Now Ray has already told me where the video is, so I know where the video is, and I can just enter the URL here. Let's enter this here, and here is the video. So this is now the video that, of course, that I cut out. We are going to now click this, and this is going to insert this in this way with this little eye above this. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out where we're going to insert it. So we're going to take the playhead at the bottom here, and we know Ray's right at the end here. We'll have a look, and then we'll take the playhead and we'll run it along until we see Ray. Where's Ray? Here he is. Here's Ray. Where's Ray? Right here. Come on, Ray, don't leave me. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the where we're going to insert this, and what you'll see now in the final version, you're going to see this little eye up top here and the suggested link for Simon and Garfunkel. So when Ray's video, when he starts talking about the video, you'll just be clicking this link here, and you'll see this eye, and you click the link, and that will take you straight to the video. But the video will be played on the originator's YouTube channel, so he will get, or they will get, a credit for that view. And then all we have to do is click Save. Let's do that now, and that's now saved. Okay, the last item I want to show you is the end screen. Now you remember back when we did the original video editing in Camtasia, I added that extra at the very end. It's called an end screen. There was a little picture. It said subscribe, and it had a couple of holes in it. And that's in our video, and I'm going to show you why we put that in there. So we're going to come to end screen here. We're going to make a little edit here, and we're going to click the editor. And now we have a lot of different options on our end screen what we can use. And I always use the last one here, and this is where I can add 2 videos and a picture. So let's watch and see how we're going to do this. Now, so what we're going to do here is we're going to choose the video, and what I'm going to do is choose a specific video. Now, I've made a decision that we're always going to use Ray's music video as the video at the end in the end screen. This makes it very easy for people to find the video while they're playing it. So and here you see Simon and Garfunkel right here, and this is going to play. Oh, it's the end screen. Now then what we're going to do is we're going to add a playlist, and the playlist that we're going to use is going to be the Tech for Senior playlist, so that all the videos in Tech for Senior will be there. And then we're going to move this up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually move this along so that these will match up with those holes. Let's go here. These will match up with those, the end screen here. So we'll put this up here, we'll put this down here, we'll put this over here, and we'll put this up here. And now, when we come into the video will have those matched up, and in the end of the video, it will all show the music video and the playlist for all the Tech for Seniors shows. We'll save that, and then we will now look at the final completed version. All right, let's look at the final version now. We're now at Tech for Seniors, episode 28. This is the description. Episode 28, Tech for Seniors. If we hit the Show More button, you now will see the timestamp. And if we click on any of these links here in the time chapter, it will go right to, so if we want to watch Ray's music, we just click that, and it will take us right to any part of the video we want to watch. Also, I've put in the links directly to any of the videos that were played in the show. All right, let's come up and let's watch this as it plays. I'm going to leave the music off. Here you'll see the title card, followed by the intro. Here you'll see my intro as I'm introducing everybody, and this will be followed by that champagne popping. Watch how it's, this is the edited version, so it looks pretty cool. Boom, the champagne pops. Again, here's Ray. If we come up and click on this little eye, you'll see the Simon and Garfunkel link that will take you right to their site, and they will get credit for the view. Let's just follow along here. I'll move the playhead forward, and we can now see the end of the show.
Bob, we miss it for the world. Ray, you had me. Of course. So we're all back. Same time, same show, same ID number, same Zoom number, same everything. We'll be back next week. Everyone have a safe week. Be kind and let's stay safe. Please, everyone, stay safe, and we will see
how you find the music coming up
next week at the same time. Bye, everyone. Bye.
See you later. Have a good day. Thanks, guys. Good show.
Here's the outro. And this will follow into the end card, which is here. And that's the making of Tech for Seniors.
This is Dewey's update for October 19th, 2020. Good morning, everyone. This little cogwheel is the universal symbol for settings in computers, tablets, smartphones, and so forth. I'm a strong advocate for technology users to know the way around the settings part of their device. Today, however, I'm going to focus on settings for Zoom. Perhaps some of you have already visited Zoom settings, but I expect that many others have not. My take on it is that settings allows users to not only troubleshoot problems, but also provides a way to customize Zoom and make it work in the best way possible for you. To access Zoom settings, you need to first open the Zoom application. The home page should look something like this. The Zoom settings cogwheel is a small symbol in the upper right corner. Just click on it to open it. Note that settings has 11 categories at the left. Most categories have one or more items that allow users a choice. I'll touch on a few of the more important ones. By the way, I think it's a good idea for Zoomers to check out each item in the categories at least one time. It will help you better understand the choices you have. General is the first category you see up there on the left. Take time to check out the first 10 items and decide if anything needs to be changed. By the way, the 11th item is called Reaction Skin Tone, and this is where a default skin tone can be chosen for using chat emoticons. Now you know everything about that, I guess. Well, anyway, video is the next category, And I often go here before our TFS meetings to see how my screen image looks to others and adjust it if the camera angle, if a change in camera angle is needed. I just realized I realized earlier I didn't do that today, so I didn't have my virtual background. Also, I can check if my lighting is okay or if it needs to be changed for a better picture. Audio, here's where you can quickly check if your speakers are working. Also, in the event you might want to speak before or after a TFS meeting, it's a good idea to know how you sound. You can quickly check by clicking on the test mic button and speaking for maybe 5 or 6 seconds. Your spoken sound will play back immediately. Regarding our before the meeting talkers, there are several of you who would sound better if you were to come closer to the mic and also get in the camera angle. In fact, that happened today. 6 to 12 inches away from the mic is a good amount. Share screen. Well, in my opinion, there's not much here for most people, but you can read it over. Chat. Again, not much here that would interest a lot of people unless you're big into chat. Background and filters. Here's where you can set Zoom to show a virtual background if you like. You can choose from Zoom's virtual backgrounds, there's a half a dozen of them there, or use a photo of your own by clicking the plus sign by the green arrow. For your information, the virtual background shown is a photo I took nearly 20 years ago in a natural area west of Tucson, Arizona. I snapped it when an awesome rainbow appeared following a late afternoon thunder shower. At the bottom of this page, you'll find a mirror my video setting that is checked by default. Unless you want your image reversed, leave it checked. Recording. If for some reason you'd like to video record a particular Zoom meeting and save it to your computer, you can do it here. Thankfully, our co-host Ron Brown records our TFS meetings for future viewing. Profile. If you'd like to have your image displayed, go to Edit My Profile. That's my 4th of July get up, by the way, in that picture. Okay. Statistics. Unless you are a super geek, you can ignore this category probably. Keyboard shortcuts. You'll find more than 40 keyboard shortcuts here from which to choose. Good idea to read over the list. Accessibility. You can change the font size for closed captioning and chat at this place. Well, I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching.
Last month, Ron showed you how to manually update your Chrome OS. It's not needed. It will update itself. I'm in the habit of checking almost every day to see if there's an update to the OS, or the operating system. And when I do that, frequently it says it's up to date. Well, this morning when I did it, it said that I needed to do an update from version 85 to the version 86. There was a major update in the operating system. I want to show you a little bit on how I did that, and then let's go through some of the new things that are in OS 86, which was just released this past week, and you may have already received it, or you'll be getting it soon if you have a Chromebook. So to check, what we do is we go to our settings, and we come down to about Chrome OS, and you'll see right now it's saying that I could check for updates, but it's showing the new version. I just wanted to show you remind you how we get there. Now I have a couple of screenshots that I'm going to show you what it looked like before. Obviously, I didn't record it during the update. When it finished the update, this is what I saw. It was the version 86. Now here is where I checked for my updates, and it was 85. And I started the update, and it continued, and when it finished, it said I needed to restart. When I finished, I checked again and it said it was up to date and I was in versions 86. So what's new in version 86? Let's go back to that screen. And about OS. You'll see it says, see what's new. I've got some screenshots, but let's take a look at it live first. When you click on it, what's new with Chromebook? One of the things is you can turn your cursor to magenta or to other colors, red, so on. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Then there's select to speak is getting better. Easier Wi-Fi access with Wi-Fi sync. And then quickly control your mic volume. These are the big differences in version 86 over 85. If you have an older version, it's time to do your update manually. I'm going to show you how to make changes with your cursor in this new update. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Settings. You would think that when you come down that you would go to Device and it'll say Mouse and Touchpad. By the way, I have a mouse I'm using right now. If you don't have a mouse plugged in and operating, it's just going to say Touchpad. If you have both, like I have right now, you'll see that it says Mouse and Touchpad. Let me show you a screenshot of what it looks like without the mouse. Okay, so you would think this is where you go to make the changes that we're about to do with the, according to the instructions that we saw on what's new. But what you really need to do is keep scrolling and go down to the Advanced, click on Advanced, and come down to Accessibility. When you find Accessibility, you'll see that there is a little arrow, which means that there are more menu choices. And when we click that, it will then open the accessibility features for, as we scroll down, for the mouse and touchpad. Notice that everything is turned off by default and the cursor color is black by default. So you can automatically click when the cursor stops. So if you move your mouse around, and then that's a feature that you can turn on under accessibility. You can show a large mouse cursor. Notice the size of my cursor. Well, if I go to and say, okay, I want to turn it on, it now makes it as large, and you can adjust what size you want. And you'll see that it's getting smaller and bigger as we scroll up. So we're going to make it large. And as we continue to look down here, notice it says the cursor color now. This was not available in version 85, but is in the operating system version 86. So now when we click this, we can make it red, we can make it yellow, green, cyan, blue, magenta, or pink. I'm going to make it red. When I do, you'll see the hand is red. As I move up and move outside of the box, it's now showing me with a, and I can still adjust the color of that red cursor to be very small or very big. Sometimes when it's real big, it gets in the way of things, so sometimes you may not want it that large. Highlight the mouse cursor when it's moving. If I click that and turn it on, now you'll see there is a circle around the tip of the arrow or the cursor. I can turn that on, turn it off. You can open mouse touchpad device settings. That brings us to the top of the settings, where we'll go there in just a minute, and then show navigation buttons, and that's if you have if you're in tablet mode. So let's take a look at the other choices. for your mouse, you can change the buttons. So if you have a left button and a right button, you can swap them so that the left mouse button becomes the right mouse button, the right mouse button becomes the left mouse button. You can enable the mouse acceleration, and I have that on, which makes it fast. You can change the speed of your mouse, and you can reverse the scrolling. So if you, instead of scrolling up, it scrolls down. On your touchpad, there are some choices there. If you want to enable the tap to click, you turn it on. Sometimes I turn it off because I have a tendency to touch the pad too much. And when I do, it does things I don't want it to do. You can enable tap dragging, and I have that turned off. These are things you can experiment with. You can enable tap acceleration, and you can, the touchpad speed, you can adjust to be faster or slower when you move your finger around it. And again, you can do the reverse scrolling with your touchpad as well. I don't have that turned on. I want to scroll down. So that's how you change the color of your cursor. And now it's changed, so whatever I do on the screen, I now have a little circle showing me where I'm at, and it does fade away if I'm not moving my mouse or moving my finger on the trackpad. As soon as I start moving it, it shows up again. Okay, that's that video. And one of the things I want to remind you of, number one, is if you haven't used your Chromebook yet, or if you haven't gotten a Chromebook, of course, this didn't make a lot of total sense, but you can see how easy it is to change things and how easy and quick it is to do OS updates. And as Ron said earlier, it only took, it probably was almost a minute for it to do the update. It did take a few seconds after I rebooted for everything to do all its thing in the background, and then it came up with the screen for me to sign in. I signed in and I was back online. So within just a couple of minutes, the update was done. And I did force it. If you don't force it, usually long as you turn your computer off and then turn it back on again and don't just put it to sleep all the time, usually it will do the updates as they are ready for your computer. And I noticed it saying the next one probably will be in January. The last one was about a month ago. So it can be anywhere from a month to every couple of months for their major updates from one number to another. But sometimes there's updates during the month with security fixes and changes. Any questions before I go to the next part, which is a little bit longer?
Huey, can I just make a comment on that?
Please do.
For many of you, your Chromebook has 2 copies of the operating system on it. There are 2 complete copies in every Chromebook. It is always the secondary copy that gets updated, and then it flips it from the secondary to the primary copy when you start your computer up. So you're never inconvenienced. It's not like Windows that right in the middle of a presentation, it wants to update. It always happens to the secondary copy. And when you turn your computer off and turn it back on again, it'll flip them. The problem is if you don't actually turn it off, right? And I'm bad for that because I just close the lid and it goes to sleep. I don't ever turn it off, you know. But with the Chromebook, if you don't turn it off, it won't update. So that's an important thing that's different than a PC.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the
next one.
Got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just following you along on my Chromebook, and it won't update to the 86. It says you are up to date with the version 85. And
Give it time. Each brand is a little bit different when they're ready to have it ready for you. Once it's ready for you, you'll see that it'll come. It could be anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks. Ron,
okay,
any
it's
comments?
just automatic though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me close this one. One of the difficulties many people have when beginning to work with a Chromebook, or even those that are experienced with a Chromebook, don't always know or weren't taught or didn't discover how the file structure works and how to manage their files within a Chromebook. I am going to try to shed some light on that today. What we're going to do first is open up our Files program. So what we're going to do here is click here, and what we want is the Files. And so when I click on that, we now have our file manager that's built into a Chromebook. You'll notice a couple of things. On the left are all of the folders and drives and so on that are available to you on your Chromebook. On the right is whatever you're pointing to. You'll notice in between them, if you move your mouse between them, you'll see a double arrow. That double arrow allows you to make it larger or smaller. So if you're only seeing a small portion of your left-hand column, you might want to move it over so that you see everything that you want to see. So now we have recent audio, images, videos, and photos on our local machine, plus my files, which shows what's on my machine or on my Chromebook. Then it also shows me what's out on Google Drive. You'll notice there's a little arrow. We're going to go through some of these things, and we're going to move some files around so you can see how easy it is to do. And I'm also connected to my OneDrive, which is my Microsoft Cloud drive, so I can move files back and forth between Microsoft and between my Google and have access, so I can go to my PC and the files that I've been working on the Chromebook are available to me. I also have an SD slot in this particular Chromebook, and I have an SD card in there, and that's where I store, and you'll see there's an arrow there, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment as well. So I have some additional storage on an SD card within my Chromebook. And getting access to that and using that has gotten better with some of the later versions of the Chrome OS or operating system. So let's take a look at where our files are on our computer. So we're on my files right now, and this is showing what's on the drive that I have. In other words, in memory, on the storage section of my memory on my Chromebook. There's a folder called Downloads. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. And there's also a playlist. And then there's some individual files that somehow got just in the general category. Most of the time when you either do a screen capture or that you download something, or you're going to say open up a PDF file, it downloads it first and then opens it. It's going to put it in that downloads folder by default. So let's take a look at the downloads folder that I have. I double click it, it opens it up. Or I could have, I'm going to come back here, I could come here to downloads and double click there, and it will open up on this side. Now, like most computers, whether it be a PC, a Mac, or any other device, and a lot of applications too, you have headings at the top, along the top here, date, modified, type, size, and name. You'll see an arrow here. That means it's alphabetical going up. If you click that one time, it makes it alphabetical going down. If you want to do it by size, you click there and you'll see it by size. The largest at the top, the smallest at the bottom, and you can reverse that as well. Same thing with type. It will put all those types of files together. You'll have an APK file, you'll have GIF files put together, JPEGs put together, and so on. And if you want to check it, okay, what's the last file that I did? Well, today at 11:06, I worked on this file, and 10:31 I worked on this file, so on. So I have it in order of that. But what I want to do it is, let's do it by name, and we're doing it up. We're doing it from the A's on down. So these are all of the files that are in my downloads. Now you have to remember this downloads folder is local on your Chromebook. So if you power wash your Chromebook, these all disappear. This is the only thing that goes away, what's on your local drive. So periodically, you want to copy these over to your cloud storage, which is your Google Drive, usually, or you could copy them over to your OneDrive, or you could put them on the SD card. If you power wash, the SD card does not get wiped. So you need to back these up if you want to keep these. If you don't care, then you can just leave them in there until it starts filling up, and then you want to kind of make some room, depending upon how much storage you have. On my particular Chromebook, I have 128 gigabytes of storage, so I don't use it all, and I have room to keep quite a few of these smaller files. You'll see that they're not very big. A lot of them are screen captures and so on, but sometimes I download a video to watch, and when I do that, it's a large file, so I may delete it, or I may move it somewhere. So let's say we want to take all of these JPEG, which are screenshots, right here at the top, and we want to put them over on our Google Drive. How do we do that? Well, first we need to go take a look at our Google Drive. We'll come over here, and you'll see when I click the little arrow, it now shows me what's on the Google Drive. There's My Drive, Shared with Me, and Offline. Let's look at My Drive. There's a little arrow there. When I click that, it shows me all of the folders that are on my Google Drive. Let's say we want to have one called Screenshots, and there's not one there. There's one called Old Screenshots, because that's what I was practicing with, and I renamed it, but I won't tell you that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to My Drive. We'll click here. So now here on the right now is everything that's in My Drive. Now we're going to come over here to the three dots, which is More. We'll click on it. Notice the top one says New Window. No, we want to go to a new folder. We're going to create a new folder by clicking here. And now we have a new folder down here. Let's call this Screenshots. I just click outside of the box, and we now have a folder called Screenshots on My Drive, which is the Google Drive. Now let's come back over to Downloads. Now it's changed over here on the right, so we see what's in the Downloads folder. We'll go to the top. We're going to take this file, and we want to come down to this file. Now I could click each one of these, but you'll notice that it only highlights the one that I'm on. Now, if I hold the Control key down and then go to the next one, it now has checked 2 of them. If I come down to the next one, check 3 of them. But there's even an easier way, and this is true on a PC as well. And I don't know Macs, but I would imagine there's something similar. But if I click the first one, I'm going to move my mouse down to the last one, but I haven't clicked on anything. I hold the Shift key down and click there. It automatically will highlight from the beginning one to the end one and everything in between. So if you've got a long list of files you want to copy or move, you don't want to go to each one individually, you can do a complete list by holding the Shift key down. So we now have 5 files that we want to get over to our Google Drive so we don't lose them. We'll want to store them out on Google Drive, out on the cloud. So we're going to come down over on this side, and notice as I move it, nothing is changing on the right. We're not clicking on the left, we're just scrolling until we find the Screenshots folder, which is down here. I'm not going to click it. I'm just going to put it where it's close enough that when I drag from this side to this side, when I drag it over, I'm not going to lose it, and I'm not going to have to go searching for it. So I am going to click and hold my click. Notice it as I'm holding the click on the mouse, and if I was had my finger on it, I wouldn't take my finger off if I was going to do it on the touch screen. And I'm just going to bring it over, and I'm going to put it over here where it says screenshots and drop it and let go. When I do it, it opens up screenshots, and there they all are in the screenshots folder. Now, what happened back up on our downloads folder? They're still there. Because it's a different drive, it doesn't move them. By default, it copies them. Now, let's say we want to take one of these, and let's see, we've got some play files here. And just to practice, let's take one of these pictures, and we'll see that it's this one. And we're going to take it, and we're going to bring it down to pictures and drop it. It's there. If we come back up to downloads, it's still there. So it doesn't move them, it only copies them. And so what you're going to want to do then is, if you either right mouse click or you can just highlight it, is we would then delete it from here. Are you sure you want to delete it? You click delete and it would be gone. So you can clear off the downloads folder one by one, or again, you could click the first one, hold the shift key down, click this one, they're all highlighted, and then we can come up and then go here, and then, so you could actually start at the first one, go all the way down to the bottom, hold the shift key down, click it, and then everything in your downloads folder, and then tell it delete it, and they'll all be gone. But you don't want to do that until you've saved them out or decided which ones you want to save, which ones you want to delete. Now, let's take a look at some of these others. Let's look at documents. There are some documents there. Now, what determines how they get in these, I have not really paid much attention to. And if I look at pictures, remember, we just moved one there, and then under that, I even have a folder called Hangouts. I'm not going to go there. I'm not sure what's in there. But you can look at different play files. Then again, at the top, you've got recent, so you can see all of your recent files here, but they may be in different places. They don't necessarily mean that they're where you want them to be, or where, if you want to move them. Now, can you move them? Well, let's take a look and see if we can. We'll take this one, and we'll say, okay, we want to put it in pictures. So we're going to take, actually, not, when I say move, I mean copy them. We're going to copy it down here to pictures. And it's the one ending in 205. So if we look at pictures, there's the 205. We come up to recent, and it's still there. So so even if it's in recent, you aren't quite sure where it is, you can put it where you want it to be. And then you have images, that it will find all of the images that you've taken. It'll show you all the videos that are on your local machine, and it'll show you all the photos that are on your machine, on your local machine. I hope I've shown you where you can find your files, whether they're on your local machine, your local computer, or whether they're out on the cloud, or again, as I mentioned earlier, I have an SD card. I can come down and look to see what's on my SD card, and I have some things here, and so if I go to here, I will see some information. So I can create folders and store some things out on my SD card. I could take that SD card out of my Chromebook, put it in my SD reader on my PC, and read the same files. Can't run any programs from the SD card, but you can store data there. So again, most of what you do will end up in your downloads folder on your Chromebook, and that's a temporary hold until you wipe your machine. If you do a power wash, anything that's in the downloads folder or in the play files will be erased. So you want to copy them over to your Google Drive if you want to keep them. For seniors.